Greetings, all. It's Dr. Bankhead here at the Struggle in Thinking Out Loud. So I'm going to pick up, as I believe this is part 3 of Self Love is a Portal to Joy. And today I'm going to give, first of all, homage to my mom and dad, which, even though I had gone through a period of abuse in my childhood, and I did experience depression and anxiety as a result of it. There were still many positive things that I did get from my parents. And so, the homage to my dad when I was in my late 20s, my dad set me on the path of my mission in life, which is to spread love and to be loved. My dad said to me that Jesus said that there were 2 commandments: to love God and to love your neighbor as yourself. And when he said that to me, it was as if, ta-da, I got this brilliant light over my head, and it was like, oh, yes, I can feel that. That's my mission. And then my mother asked me once in my mid-20s, why don't you love yourself? And that was a question that would haunt me for many, many years. At one point in time, I did the mirror exercise. In fact, I believe it was my mother that encouraged me to do it. And I looked in the mirror and I said to myself, as I looked into my eyes in the mirror, I said, I love you. And I started crying. Yes, I was crying. There were real sobs. There were real tears. It was like it hit me in my heart that no, honey, you really don't love yourself. I thought I did. I honestly thought I loved myself. There wasn't any indication that I wasn't loving myself, or so I thought at the time. In hindsight, which is 2020, I've just actually begun to love myself. I went all those years thinking I was loving myself, and I had no clue as to what that really entailed. That's right. I mean, you think if you're using the finest cologne, or you're wearing the latest fashion, you're a fashionable person. You maybe even have some red bottom Louboutins. Yes. Or your Pradas. Or, oh my gosh, Louis Vuitton. You got, what is it? Oh, I can't think of all the names of all of those designers and etc. And I mean, when you look at the stories about the sweatshops that they have abroad, and people are making those fashionable shoes, and the materials and the labor all total, the shoe might be worth $1, but you're going to pay $250 for it and think nothing of it because you're going to fit in with your friends. That's right. The question is, where's the self love? Are you really showing that you love yourself? Are you demonstrating that you love yourself by spending great amounts of money for changing the way you appear to others? When you're changing your appearance before you leave the house, which might entail wearing makeup, having a hairstyle that, well, it's your hairstyle. It doesn't matter if it's your natural hair or it's been hair that you've acquired elsewhere. Once it's yours, it's yours. So it's your hair, it's your eyelashes, it's your fingernails, it's your expression of self as you go out. But this expression of self, is it based on self love? That's the question. Is it self love? Or is it just a mask? Is it just a show? Because deep down inside, if you're failing to really get to the place where you love yourself, you will be experiencing treatment from others, which really amounts to mistreatment. But it's an acceptable amount of mistreatment. There's a border. Some is acceptable mistreatment, and some is not acceptable mistreatment, if that's the way you think. Personally, mistreatment is mistreatment. Let's look at the question of good and evil. I've often heard people say, oh, well, that's the lesser of two evils. Well, in my interesting point of view, if it's the lesser of two evils, then that means we have two evils, which means that both are evil, and I'm not going to choose evil. I'm going to choose to avoid both. And since when are we only limited to two choices? Who says so? And why? I mean, this is a vast universe. There is no limit to anything. And just as there are billions, well, maybe millions of unique individuals here on this planet with maybe a million unique ideas, there's no limit on the ideas you can have. There's no limit on the amount of choices you can have. Who says so? So, anyway, back on the subject of self love. Look at what you're accepting. And again, we talked about self acceptance in the last video. And if you're accepting, if you've made a list and you determine what's acceptable to you, by now you should have established a boundary on what you will and will not accept. And stick to it. It doesn't matter what somebody else thinks about what you're choosing to do. You're following your joy. Let them follow theirs. It's as simple as that. All right. It's Dr. Bankhead at the Struggle in Thinking Out Loud. Hoping that you have a pleasant day. Thank you for visiting with me. Please subscribe, share the video, like, and comment below. I look forward to hearing from you. And I am grateful for I am truly great. Say it with me. I am grateful for I am truly great. All right. See you again soon.